What's up, football lovers? It's your boy Makapane, and welcome to Bola. Uh, today's show, today's show we are going to review Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs in the MTN8 quarter-finals that happened last week. So before I get into the details, guys, football lovers, may you please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, let me go straight into it. I'll start with the formations. As you all saw, Chiefs played a 4-3-3 and Sundowns played a 3-4-3. But when they played in game, they all obviously changed their formations, as we all know. So formations these days, I'm not sure. It's actually a guideline on how the team might actually play or present into the game. Because in most cases, we also Sundowns was a 3-4-3, but in game it was more of a 4-3-3 or like it's just. But I'll show you guys more about that on the details. So let's look at let's look at the game stats and let's see what the game stats. We all know that, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns won with dubious penalties. So so we also, I don't know what the referees were doing, but on the day, Mr. Referee, I know the Kaizer Chiefs fans are probably angry because the referee couldn't call that, and of course, it's quite disappointing to see the referees at this level doing this. It's unbelievable because for like 3 or 2 times, the Mamelodi Sundowns keeper was off the line. Mweni. Okay. No stress. I'll show you the pictures later on this video. So let's check out the stats. So Sundowns had 23 shots and 7 shots on target. So Chiefs wasn't allowing them to get clear chances clearly, because with 23 shots and only 7 shots on target. And it clearly shows Sundowns was dominating the game, you see, with 7 shots on target and 9 corner kicks. On the other hand, Chiefs had 15 shots on target. I had 15 shots and 4 shots on target, which was minimal. Of those 4 shots, 2 were in the net. So you don't need more shots to actually get to score, but the only thing that you need is a goal. Like, that's it. You can have 4 shots on target and 4 goals. So you need to be clinical. That's the name of the game. So Chiefs, on the other hand, had 5 corners, and it shows it was. I think it was more of a tactical cancellation, because if you can see, Chiefs had Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns had like 16. Mamelodi Sundowns has like 16 fouls and Chiefs had 14 fouls. So this shows the aggression, but then again it shows Chiefs didn't do more of tactical fouls, and that caused the referee to go into his pocket for a yellow card. But we didn't see a red card. We saw a nice game, entertaining game, which was fun to watch for a neutral, of course. I was a neutral. I'll tell you guys later which club I support. But okay, let's go straight into the tactical analysis of the game. That was quite interesting to watch, and I can't wait to share it with you guys just now. Let me just try and fix this. There we go. Okay, we've got it. So we all saw this. Sundowns was playing a 3-4-3 and Chiefs was playing a 4-3-3 when it all started. So yeah, this was clearly interesting because one thing that I noticed was, I'll start with Sundowns. One thing that I noticed was, in build-up, Sundowns would actually uh, build up this way. Even when it was a goal kick, you'd see Cotier here, and you see Diruk there and Libusa there. And then the wide players would stay wide, of course, Leki and Mudau. So what this suggested, what this caused is Nokovic to commit himself to pressure, and Parker to commit there and to commit there. But now this is what's interesting is, you saw Mvala coming here. You see he's building up a triangle just there, and you saw Domingo coming in, also building up a triangle there, even further up. So if Sikhote was was putting pressure there, and Ngane was putting pressure there, and then you'd find Diruk there. So you always had a man spare on the wings, because what Chiefs avoided is to push up and leave a 3v3 situation. So Blom wouldn't push up to Lake. He would like push just up enough for them to do to actually check at the back. Because the problem is, if Chiefs would have pushed up high and high and high and high, and you've got the likes of Shalulile with the pace of his, now you are leaving so much space behind, and you definitely know that they are really going to make use of it. So you're just putting yourself into danger if you were doing that. So I don't think Chiefs would have allowed for Sundowns to gain so much space behind. So that would cause a whole lot of problems. So Chiefs avoided to give Sundowns the space, I guess. So it was quite interesting, and every time Chiefs committed, they would come second best, because you already see, if they push up high, and they would leave obviously someone up there and come late, and then the ball will easily be played on the wing and they out. So that was another interesting part that Mamelodi Sundowns has. So their build-up was very strong, and quite, it needed Chiefs to commit more numbers, and that meant Chiefs had to commit more numbers high up the pitch, and that would obviously cause a problem with the likes of Peter Shalulile making the runs. So I don't think they wanted to put themselves in that pressure, but we all saw how it worked for them in the early minutes, because Sundowns was more fluid and Chiefs was a bit hesitant and not fluid enough. So I'm going to show you again something else that was happening during the game that I actually noticed, and it was quite interesting that, so Sundowns are creating triangles, and Sundowns are always making overloads to actually change the ball for space and attack the space. So this is another tactical analysis that I noticed, and something that I noticed that Sundowns were actually really profiting out of. So in instance, when the ball was played, okay, let's say it was here at Mudau, what would happen is Mvala would support, the Rook would obviously support as a center back, and this would mean Parker to come in here. And what happened with the Rook is, the Rook came into the middle field, while Libusa and the Rook would stay there. So what Domingo would do is to push up. So when he pushed up, he allowed Mudiba to come close, Shadulile to also come in for support. So what this meant, when Mudiba came in, he would ping who's this? Hlachwayo. So this is what's going to happen. And when he came in here, now you've got him pinged there. Now you have Tembazwani coming in, and now he has created space for him. So what now this made was for them to come and push back, and which obviously gave Mvala space here. So anyone playing the ball, Mvala could play the ball in so many areas from here. So we all know that Mvara could play it up high, could play it here, had so many options, even if turning. But in most cases, this is what happened. He would come in, drop a bit, close the passing lane for Kaizer, and it actually made it difficult. But they always had support, and they were always overloading this side with so many numbers. So we can all see in this area how many players of Sundowns you had. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and sometimes maybe 5 with Zwane coming in here, Domingo trying to obviously take Mato out of his positions, but Blom was pinged while Lekki enjoyed the flanks. So Lekki and Mudau obviously gave Sundowns width. So Sundowns had a lot of depth. So Kaizer's role was more interesting because he played more of a pivot. So he came in here when they were only building up from the back. But as soon as the ball was out, this is what you would observe. You would observe Kaizer coming in the middle field, and depending on where the ball is playing, you would see Diruk or no. You would see Mvala or Domingo pushing up into the half spaces. So when even we saw how the goal came, because with these half spaces is let me try and put it here and put it here and put it here and put it there, and so we saw when Sundowns was pushing up high is that they really attacked the half spaces. They really always had someone in the half spaces, and that also caused problems for the center backs. So this is what's happening. If this is Hlante and this is Kadoso, Matoho, and Blom. So Zwane would occupy these half spaces. Mudiba would occupy these half spaces, and of course Muda would occupy the width and give Lake would also provide width. So what this caused is Domingo would push up and Mvala would push up, and you would have a situation like this where Mvala is pushed and Domingo has pushed, so the half spaces are occupied. So now the question for the wingers, for the right backs and the left back is, should I push up or should I deal with this man? Because if he pushes up, this is where Zwane will come. And obviously when he pushes up here, this is where he will come with the ball, come in, and Zwane will go out. And causing him to push there, and it will cause trouble there. But one thing I liked, I'll show you when I discuss or when I show you how Chiefs tactics worked, or how I believe they approach the game tactically. So this also caused problem, caused a whole lot of problems for for Chiefs when Sundowns attacked the half spaces. Like these days we call them the inverted wingers, where Temba Zwane and Mudiba came inside and allowing, of course, Mdau and Leke to operate on the flanks, giving Sundowns a little bit of width and a lot of bit of width to play around the ball. So it was quite interesting, and that's what I observed for Sundowns. And now let's take a look at Kaizer Chiefs, how they approached the game and how they tried to cause trouble for Sundowns. So this is how it all was, and quite interesting. That was a nice match to actually learn, and for actually young players to gain a whole lot of insight from it. So Chiefs, in most cases, they avoided the Sundowns press by mainly playing long balls, because of course Sundowns will press you. That's all we know. They push up high and they press teams. They press every team that they play with. So this is how Sundowns would play when Chiefs had the ball. So Sundowns would push their players up high to close the passing lanes and not to give Kaizer Chiefs an opportunity to play the ball. So we all saw that Chiefs, in most cases, when they tried playing out of the back, they would have the center backs here, and then in most cases they would be in trouble. So what started to happen is that Kune, from the back, you would see Kune playing all long balls to Parker or long balls to Billiard to give them the width and to attack in spaces. Because why was Kune playing these balls? Because now, if... Oh, no, let me try and take out this. Wait a bit. Let me try and take out this. Hey, what's happening here? Let me delete. Okay. So this is what happened. With Sundowns pushed up high and pushed up high and pushed up high. As we always know, Sundowns play a very high line of defense. So this was going to be the case. For them to get out of these congested spaces, for them to get out of these congested spaces, I knew exactly that if the ball is here and they are playing build up, this is what Kune would do to avoid the pressure, to play the balls on the flanks where Parker and Billiard would be. But in most cases, I would see Nokovic here and Parker here. So it clearly states that Chiefs was trying to use the pace for Billiard and Nokovic to at least try and penetrate Sundowns from counter attacks. Because we all saw the passes that let me try and use red, where that Kune played here and Kune played here, and especially in the second half. So I also want to touch on the how Sundowns defended. How Kaizer Chiefs defended. This is what I was impressed with, and it's quite normal that the coach would always revert to it. I saw a coach reverting to a 4-2-3-1 in the first half, later in this first half, and went through the game like that. So you would see the two defenders here, which are defensive mid, which would be Cole Alexander and Ngani, and you would see on the left here. So they were trying to deal with these guys coming into the half spaces and this guy coming into the half space. So what was the tactical solution here? Because now they were having problems. Hlante would have to deal with Mdau and Blom would have to deal with Lakay on the wing. So now, who was going to deal with these two players, Mudiba and Zwane in the half spaces? So now, if he goes, he's free. So now, what they reverted to is to, okay, let the midfielders, the defensive midfielders, both Ngane and Alexander, to come in and support to close here, to come in and support to close here. But what this did initially, we saw that Sundowns and everyone, Sundowns was getting a whole lot of chances of shooting in these areas. So I was also surprised not seeing Hlompho Kekana, because if when Chiefs was doing this, it needed just a good long ranger to take shots, because they were giving a whole lot of time and space to these guys. Because these guys, when they had to come, they were always late. They were always late and always late and always late. So I don't know why they didn't try and introduce Hlompho Kekana, but they introduced Jale later on the stage, and this is what I have to share today. And I'll show you guys a picture on how this defense was. I think I have one. Yeah, you see just now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, how Chiefs was defending. So yeah, guys, this is what I have for today. And remember, keep it real, keep it football. And yeah, for now, from me, this is all I have. And danko.